Just recently, I was asked to speak at the retirement dinner of a very good friend of mine, someone that I've just grown to love. And I was really excited because I get to go back to the East Coast. And I was just excited to see her again because even though I'm out here in Arizona and she's in New Jersey, we're still very, very close. And so I sat down and I began to write. But before I could start writing, it took me back to a period that all of us have been to. And that is when you're leaving elementary school, you know, where your teacher is like that extra extension of a parent, and you're moving into middle school, where there's a whole bunch of other kids from other schools and teachers who don't really care about you as much as those teachers did in elementary. And I was afraid. I remember the feeling in my stomach. I got all of that back as I started to think about it. And then I remembered thinking, oh, well, my brother's there, it'll be fine. And then I remembered my brother in elementary, he'd see me in the hallway, hey, Gina, and he'd keep going. So now I realize I'm on my own, but I can do this. And before school started, I remember just praying and praying and praying, God, you're gonna have to help me because I'm scared. I can do this, but I need you. And I went. That first day, I remember the first day walking into the big school. And of course, my brother goes even in a different door, not even next to me, just. But that's okay, I'm going. And I remember walking in and the school seemed bigger and the other students seemed bigger. Everything just seemed so big. And I remember as I looked around thinking, okay, I'm gonna have to learn how to handle this, I can do it. And so as we're walking through the hallways and we're heading to the places where they're telling us to go, I see a young lady that I knew. I knew her from my past. Someone who I don't think I'd seen her since I had been 5 years old, but I remembered her. And I said, God sent me an angel. And so for 7th grade, I knew I had an angel. All through 7th grade, I didn't have her as a teacher, but I saw her often. And I would see her in the halls. I never spoke to her. I'd see her at some of the sporting events. Again, I never spoke to her, but I knew that she was watching me and I was watching her. 7th grade went by without a hitch. Then 8th grade comes, and I decided, I'm gonna make that move. And so I began to speak to her in the hallways. I talked to her. I enjoyed her company. She had a funny laugh. I always will remember her laugh. But I just enjoyed just talking to her. I invited her to some of my softball games and some of track meets. I couldn't invite her to the basketball games because she was the JV coach at our local high school. So they were busy the same time we were busy. But that's okay, because I'd found in her a mentorship, and it was pretty cool, you know? And then I was like, all right, this is really cool. I got this down. I graduate 8th grade, and now I'm going into high school. And again, that dread comes over me. But I don't think anything was more exciting than to walk into the high school and again, see that familiar face. She left middle school the same year I did to begin teaching in the high school. Again, I don't have her as a teacher, but now our friendship, or I should say that angel relationship begins to change. And it changes more into a mentorship. When I had issues, problems, even funny things that occurred, I would go to her. And after a while, I would find that she was always in my ear. Don't do this. Okay, that's a good idea. I like that. Do that. Girl, have you lost your mind? Are you thinking? But these were the things that Linda would say to me that, at that time she was Murph. These are the things that Murph would say to me to make me think twice before I made bad mistakes or before I did the wrong thing or before someone perceived me as something different than I was. Well, throughout the 4 years of high school, Linda and I became very close. I didn't even get to play on her team. As a freshman, I started varsity, and she was a JV coach, so I never even had her as a coach. But in high school, we would attend college games together. She'd pick me up and we'd go rolling. If her mother had a function at her house, she'd invite me. And after a while, her mother referred to me as her other daughter. And it was just the coolest thing. I even remember before my senior year pictures, I didn't know how to put on makeup. So who do you think I went to? Murph, you gotta help me out. I gotta get some makeup on my face. I don't know what I'm supposed to do. And she's like, okay, come on, don't worry about it. I got it. So I go to the beautician on Saturday, and Monday morning I have these pictures, or Monday afternoon. And so after school, she comes to the house, she puts the makeup on me. She looks back, oh, you're perfect. Don't worry about a thing. Just go ahead and do this. So I go and I get my pictures, and I'm so excited. And if you recollect from my last story, as time came for college, I got a lot of offers. And I remember when I had decided on the school I wanted to go to, it was a coach who had coached in our area as a high school coach, and he had gone on to college. And of course, I think he knew what kind of team he wanted. And I liked his personality. And there were a couple of girls that I'd played against who were also going there. And I thought we could forge better friendships. But again, I'm afraid. And so I go to the school, I take my mother, and I take Murph. And together we go in, we tour the school, we talk with the coach, we sit down in the deli, and he says to my mother, Mrs. Bibbs, I want to offer your daughter a full scholarship. My mother's got tears in her eyes, and I'm excited because I'm going to college. But I looked at Linda, and I saw that. I knew it. I knew it. I told you this was going to happen. See, all you had to do was think about it. Just listen to everything I tell you. This is good. You're going to go. We got this down. And it was such a fulfilling thing. But now, even in college, I come home often, but I never miss a visit with my friend Murph, who, of course, one day says to me, you know, you've been calling me Linda Murphy for many years. When are you going to call me Linda? We're friends. Call me Linda. So, of course, now I change. And my friend, who had once been an angel, who became a mentor, is now a friend. But again, after college, I come home, and now we're inseparable again. Only now we do adult things. We go out to dinner, we sit, we talk, we exercise together. We get told by her mother together, you're gaining weight, you need to lose it. But it's been such a growing process. And I couldn't think of how in the world can I condense 32 years of friendship into 3, 5, 7 minutes even. But as I started to tell the story, it was like I walked through life. I remembered everything and all those feelings that just as you grow up that you go through with certain people. And so I had to stop and take a moment. And my moment was to tell her, you know, Linda, you went in my life from being an angel to a mentor to a friend. And now I look at you as my sister. And I have to tell you something before I forget. And that is when I found the man of my dreams, the man I knew, this is the guy. And I decided, you know, to before God and before all my friends, promise to love, honor, and cherish for the rest of my life. Linda stood by my side.